A very important stat in every game of basketball. It just shows so much of how the complexion of the game is going.
Does it ever? And this is we're mentioning about how critical it is as far as the playoff aspirations of both these teams. They're in a mini series at the moment. So they've got the game tonight. These two teams will also square off again next Saturday night in Gold Coast. And the Tigers already leading the series 1-0, having won earlier in the season. It was a New Year's Eve game, I think it was, when these two teams met.
De Leon turning the corner. Gets it back out to Petrie. He's trying to make it all the way to the rim. Comes up a little long. Ball's tipped around. Another offensive rebound for the Blaze. Gibson. De Leon. No call on the contact. He lines up his three. Tigers get the board. Cam Tragah good on his box out. Dillon turns the corner, gets it to Dorsey. His catch and shoot outside the three-point line is good.
And the rhythm of that shot was a lot different to any of the others. He just caught and shoot it as we've seen him do in the past. And he knocks it down. Dorsey only, he's 2 of 6 from the field with the 5 points.
Worthington finds Adam Gibson. His three-point shot is good. Good dribble penetration from Mark Worthington. Adam Gibson did a good job of creating an angle so he could actually find him.
He did, and you can see by the way the Gold Coast Blaze play, there's a lot of screening action on the ball. Most of their work comes on the ball for that penetration and dish, whereas the Melbourne Tigers, when they start to run a little bit of their shuffle offense, they probably balance a little bit more with action away from the ball. Just tidying up some of the sweat, which can be very, very dangerous on the floor. Talk about Adam Gibson and what he's been able to do. I think we all had some question marks when Adrice De Leon was brought in a few games into the season. We were a little surprised that they decided to go with a point guard and what impact that would have on the rest of the team, but it hasn't hurt Adam Gibson's cause offensively anyway. He's just continued to prosper.
Dillon brings it up quickly. Cam Tragah misses about the easiest shot he'll have all night. It doesn't look like he's happy unless he's kind of hitching and hesitating. Petrie has a shot thrown out by Liam Rush, but his foot was on the line.
Foot was on the line because he did tap it and it did hit Anthony Petrie, but because he took off from out of bounds, that one was good, and it's that one there that he had a foot on the line. Otherwise, he would have won the ball back for the Melbourne Tigers.
Well, last night, Eddie Gill made some great plays like that, hustling, getting it to go off the Sydney Kings. I just can't get over how good that game was.
It was a great one. And think about Eddie Gill. He never had a great shooting night, but he never dropped his head and continued to do those little things. And some of these Melbourne Tigers can take a leaf out of that book when things aren't going well on the offensive end. It's those other areas, defense, and in particular on the boards, where you can make up.
And he made every free throw down the stretch, too. Dillon makes the great strong drive, just a little errant with the layup. Gibson skips it to De Leon, extra pass to Worthington. His floater comes up short. Ubaka. And Rush just kind of gave up on that one.
Wasn't it? I mean, they're the signs you see. You'd rather have guys jumping at it, diving over it, showing that level of urgency than just conceding.
Tragah in a foot race with Worthington. And he's fouled.
That's a good foul by Mark Worthington because Cam Tregar, he's already come up short in the first half, missed a couple of free throws, only a 55% free throw shooter. So a certain 2 now becomes a very rough chance for 2.
See, that's a bad call. That's a bad call because the referee was on the opposite side. There's no way he could see who drew the contact because Cam Tregar's left arm swung out, ran into Mark Worthington, made the contact. But there's no way that Brad Gish can see it from that angle. I know you're shaking your head, but that's a bad call. If you can't see it, then don't call it.
I agree with you. I agree if you can't see it, you shouldn't call it. But I probably need standing up here, sitting up here, and we are at the top of the stadium. It initially looked like it was clearly a foul, but perhaps the angle of that replay has got you with a different point of view, Steve. But Cam Tregar occasionally goes in and knocks it down.
Well, he's not worried about whether it's a good call or not. He can go up there and knock it down. Gibson. Gibson hesitates. Good active hands by Liam Rush. Kadee has a good read and cuts off a Yinda Ibaka. Another turnover.
It's only
on the back of a turnover.
It's only their second turnover for the game for the Melbourne Tigers, so they have done a very good job in that department. Foul call on Cam Tregar pushing on the rebound contest.
Okay, Andrew, you can have a look at this one.
This is the angle you saw, and you raised some doubts about it, and you're dead right.
Yeah.
From the other angle, from the top side of it.
So the trail ref can see it. I know it was a turnover, so they weren't able to have a ref in front of it. But the ref on the side cannot make that call because there's no way you can determine who makes the contact. Kadee. Kadee with a floater. Stephen Hoare keeps it alive, and somehow Jason Kadee stays inbounds on the baseline.
37 to 14 is the rebounding count.
And that, even though...
Steve, they're getting 2 or 3 cracks at it every single time down the floor.
Oh, and if you're struggling to shoot the basketball, a nice pass to Cam Tregar. If you're struggling with your shot, it's like if you've missed one and you miss another one and someone gives you the ball and you knock down the third one, you're like, oh, I'm feeling pretty good now.
It also gives you a lot of confidence to know that if you do miss, it's not going to be the end of the play. So you feel a lot more confident when you're going up to take those shots.
Dorsey, after the ball was knocked away from Adam Gibson, and a sweet finish by Ron Dorsey.
Wasn't it? And Cam Tregar did the right thing. He gave it up to the much quicker Ron Dorsey after being run down the last time by Mark Worthington. Subs on the floor. Tommy Greer's coming in for Daniel Dillon.
And that's how they've been able to stay in the game. They forced the Gold Coast Blaze into 10 turnovers, and still, like you said, the Tigers are taking tremendous care of the basketball. Only 2 turnovers for the entire game.
Matty Burston's just checked into the game as well, and out of the game goes the Melbourne Tigers' leading scorer, Cameron Tregar. He's got the 3 fouls, so I'd assume that Trevor Gleeson just a little concerned about Cam Tregar picking up another one because he definitely needs his offense.
38 rebounds to 14, but the shot attempts are the same at 44. Another turnover by the Blaze. Rush goes upstairs and lays it up. Gibson decides to give him a free pass. And the Melbourne Tigers on a 6-0 run. And that cuts the deficit to 6. Gibson to Stephen Hoare. Tough drive and tough shot. Pulled in by Rush.
Good couple of minutes for the Melbourne Tigers. A few turnovers, good defensive stop there. Momentum just starting to change.
Ibaka finds Rush. His three-point attempts off the mark. Tommy Greer with an offensive rebound. Burston. Another pass that's been deflected by good active hands. The Blaze come up with the turnover.
Matty Burston with a golden opportunity. Put the ball to the floor. In fact, the shot was going to be a lot easier than the pass. Just go ahead and shoot that. Got a chance to get fouled. And Trevor Gleeson has a few words to him as there's a timeout on the floor.
Just a lack of minutes for Matt Burston. 50-44.
Unbeatable prepaid offers this month. Get a bonus $10 Optus recharge at all phones when you pick up one of these great Optus prepaid offers. Nokia 2730 for $49. Nokia E63 for only $99. Nokia E5 only $129. And Samsung Geo an amazing $149.
Welcome back, Trevor Gleeson.
Hey guys, I love our energy.
Melbourne Tigers.
This crowd out here is dying to cheer you guys. But first off, you got to do the hard work. You can't wait to get a pat on the back without doing any work ethic. Keep working up the lanes. Great rebounding. Chewy, push it at all costs. I don't care if you turn it over. Just push the ball out. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, you love to hear that as a guard.
That's a coach really just trying to instill some confidence into his team because they're not rebounding well. They are getting some good value out of their transition baskets, and that's why he was just emphasising to Ainde backup to just fly that ball down the floor as quick as he can.
When you get that confidence, it also creates a bit of energy on the defensive side. Tommy Greer just hanging on to Brendan Tees a little too long.
That's enough.
Steve, when you look at the scoreline and the problems the Melbourne Tigers are having on the glass, it's somewhat ironic that the points in the paint, Gold Coast Blaze only have 12 points in the paint, and the Melbourne Tigers have 22. And there you see a push in the back, but you'd expect with a team dominating the glass like they have been, that they'd get more value out of that second shots from around the basket.
Oh, for sure. With the stats, you would just expect the Melbourne Tigers to be down by a bigger number. Kadee just a little too active on the hands. They had Tommy Greer in a very good trap. That was going to be very difficult to get out of. It was at a bad angle for one of his teammates to come and create a passing lane. We'll get another look right here. This is exactly where you don't want to pick the basketball up, just over half court.
It was, and
16.
soft foul there. Adam Gibson might have been lucky not to get called for the earlier one. Foul goes to Jason Kadee, which is the preferred option for the Gold Coast Blaze.
Rush goes strong to the basket.
Was another example where weak side help was good, but it was Mark Worthington coming from behind. If he doesn't whack at that ball, have a look at this. Good defense outside the key, outside the no charge, and just the clip across the head by the elbow of Mark Worthington gets him the foul.
Brendan Tees did a tremendous job of getting outside of the circle. That was a charge. I mean, if it happened.
Yeah, exactly. It's just the play by Mark Worthington across the top of the head of Liam Rush.
I mean, of course, Mark Worthington doesn't know that he's going to make a tremendous defensive play because he was there quick. He was a good half a step outside the circle. Good recognition by Tees. Let's see if he can knock one down, too. Oh, just evidence of feeling confident from a good defensive play like he almost made. He wasn't able to get it, but then the Blaze get the putback.
Ron Dorsey on that rebounding, just trying to tap it away. He had the size advantage, perhaps lacking a little confidence on the glass, too, the way they're getting smashed. Should have just went up and grabbed it.
Dorsey can't get the three ball to go. Worthington lets it roll out of bounds.
Steve, when you consider that there's no Chris Goulding, no James Harvey, and the Gold Coast Blaze in a 7-point lead with almost 2.5 minutes remaining, in the third. This has been an outstanding performance by the Gold Coast Blaze.
Adam Gibson on the offensive glass.
And they just seem to want it more. Their level of desperation and determination on the boards and their body language and their defensive intensity.
Man, they're cruising on their way to a 70 rebound game. They've got 41 already. Maybe 60.
70's pushing it.
I was kind of doing my corrective math there, and it wasn't adding up.
But on the flip side of that, to only have 16 for the Melbourne Tigers, and they're shooting it below 40%. 36% to the Gold Coast Blaze, 39% for the Melbourne Tigers. So there is a lot of rebounding opportunities out there.
If both teams shoot at this poorly, we could see 70 rebounds. Gibson. So waiting for Mark Worthington to get better position. He spins to the baseline. Worthington not happy with that call. A little late getting back on D. Not a great looking possession so far.
Fumbling and missed ball handling errors.
Ubaka. That rattles out. Liam Rush with a rebound. Ubaka's got 2 on him. Finds Rush, throws it upstairs, and Matt Burston, he just pushed Mark Worthington's head down.
He did, and he didn't need to. The pass had been spot on. When the guy's fronting like that, just throw it up at near the rim or at the backboard, and it's like you block someone out. See, he's got him there in the high post. He didn't need to push. It wasn't a real vicious push, but he didn't need to do that.
Worthington has a seat after he forces that turnover. De Leon finds Tees. He finds the backboard on a shot from the corner.
Easy! Hey, you two, easy!
Ubaka creating some space.
Got away with a carry.
Boy, he held that dribble up there for a long time. Joey Wright can't believe it. All right, if you can hang the ball up there that long, you're pretty much impossible to stop. Kadee did a good job of reeling that one in. Shoots the 3-point shot with 4 seconds left on the shot clock. There's a whole lot of contact on that one. Liam Rush wasn't able to get 2 arms together.
Steve, it really looks like the Melbourne Tigers are trying to match the Gold Coast Blaze in their offensive strategy. They are much better when they get the ball through some hands, get some cuts, loosen up the defense, work without the ball. This quarter, they're just trying to go very individual and not helping each other out. And when you've got your prime scorer in Cameron Tregar out of the action, it hasn't been all that productive quarter for them.
Greer finds Rush. Dillon. He just moved Jason Kadee out of the way. He just bullied him to get to the basket.
But again, Steve, it wasn't like there was a whole lot of structure there. Just spread it out, a bit of a 1-4 flat, and Daniel Dillon just bullies his way to the basket. That is a terrible pass. Idris De Leon just misreading Jason Kadee.
That could have been a catastrophe.
Because it was a breakaway easy layup that Daniel Dillon would have had. You're going to hold it. There's a 4-second shot differentiation between the shot clock and the game clock.
That's got to be double dribble, isn't it? De Leon with a floater comes up short. Gets his offensive rebound.
That is symptomatic of the problems that the Tigers have had all game.
Wasn't that a double dribble?
Up the top, it looked like it, but even then, there's no excuse. Steve, you just...
Go, fellas. Line up.
all those red shirts there, and they just can't come up with any rebounds. You've got the smallest guy on the floor just bullying his way in there and coming up with another opportunity.
We've seen that a number of times where the Melbourne Tigers have just... they're in position for rebounds, but just not going to the ball.
Just jump. Try harder.
De Leon putting together a game of his own. He's got 7 rebounds. Takes his tally to 14 points. And that wouldn't have counted even if it had gone, but the Gold Coast Blaze continue to come up with the answers. They hold a 56 to 47 point lead.
Monday on The Protect, Angela Bishop's in LA with all the juicy Golden Globes.